Alright, Shalom Akim. Shalom Yasharallah. First off, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakah HaKodash. Giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of the Great Millstone for teaching us this truth to rule well. Alright, this is brother Izar out here in Midland, Texas. I'm going to be going over the mark of the beast. Alright, which, there's a lot of simple things, that we call simple, that we go over, and our people still don't listen. Alright, so the Negro, Latino, and the Native American man, they still don't listen, man. Like, for instance, Easter. What does Easter mean? Well, Easter is a goddess, alright, in the Babylonian Empire. It was actually pronounced I-S-H, alright, so it would be Ishtar, but or spelled Ishtar, alright, but it's pronounced Easter, you see, and that Easter was actually a representation of Nimrod's mother, also his wife, alright, which his mother was his wife, and that's wickedness, alright. So Easter, that word Easter really is representing a goddess. Alright, now a bunny and the eggs, that also represents the fertility that the goddess would bring. Alright, so back in ancient times, they used to worship that type of stuff, man. And now it's back. Alright, and our people still don't want to listen. You show them evidence, you show them archaeological evidence that were dug up from thousands of years ago, where Easter and the bunny were representations of fertility, all right, which fertility, all right, so this is how it goes. You see, in the scriptures, it tells you that the Passover was basically the spring of life, all right, when life comes back up. That's how you know that's the new year, you see. So why is it Easter? Because the Easter goddess, all right, she's known for fertility, and so is the Easter bunny. When something's fertile, all right, it grows. So that's why around the springtime you have Easter, all right, which they say it was the so-called Passover, which it wasn't, all right. Passover was not around this time, all right. Life's already been up. Life's already been awake. It's been awake for about a month already, So the Passover, the Pesach, was actually last month. You see? It was actually last month. And that previous month, or actually I believe it was, what was that already? Are we on the third month? What is it, April, March? We're about to be on the third month of the year. All right, in the Jew, where the Jews, the calendar of the Jews, all right, the real calendar, all right, because keeping up with the times is also important, you see. So Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, or Yahweh Shai, he told the Pharisees and the scribes, like, you can tell the times, you can tell when it's gonna rain, you can tell if it's gonna be sunny or windy today, all right, you can tell all these things, but you can't discern the times, all right, and the times are close, man, all right, so we have to be repenting, to the Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. We have to be repenting of the things that we've done and turn back to our power, man, even if you're still in the truth, all right, whether you've been in it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, all right, we still have to repent and turn back to our power, man. That's what David did, all right, just because David, all right, had this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding doesn't mean that David didn't repent anymore, all right, that David was perfect in all his ways, all right, only the Most High is perfect in all his ways, man, all right, but David constantly repented, all right, to repent, to feel that sorrow, all right, to really feel repentance, you see. So he always repented and he always turned to the Most High, man, all right, but as for us, we have to do the same thing, all right. We have to repent and turn back to the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. You see? So the times are getting close, man. And you'll let the people know. And Jake is stubborn. All right? Jake is real stubborn, man. you'll let them know that Easter represents a goddess, which really goes down to what's her name, Nimrod's mother, Semiramis. All right, so Easter really represents Semiramis, all right, the queen of heaven, you see. And then Nimrod, all right, goes down to Horus, and Horus goes down to Horus and Osiris, and then Osiris goes down to Serapis Christos, all right, which is who you really worship when you say the name Jesus Christos. All right, you're really worshiping Serapis Christos, because Serapis Christos was around the time that the Hebrews were in Rome. All right, and the people would worship Serapis Christos. All right, so when the similarities were so close that they started kicking out the Christians, all right, which were actually the followers of Serapis Christos, and also the Jews, all right, which were also some Gentile Jews, you know, the ones that were, whether confusion of faith or following after the ways of the Greeks, following after the ways of the Romans, you know, but they're actually Jews. They're Hebrews, Hebrew Israelites. All right, so those people got expelled around the same time, you know, so they were confused for each other, man. All right, but when you actually look at everything, you know, the stuff that we do, all right, being in the truth of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, people may confuse it with what's that fucking, that religion, what is it called, Jehovah's Witness. All right, people may confuse it with that because, oh no, we don't celebrate Easter, we don't celebrate birthdays, we don't celebrate Christmas. All right, and also we don't get tattoos and stuff like that. You know, people may confuse it for that type of stuff. You see, those that are ignorant may confuse it, and that's how it was back then. You know, but when you actually look deep into it, there's a big difference. All right, going out to the highways and the hedges, we don't go out to door to door. All right, you're not supposed to go door to door, man. All right, we go out to the highways and the hedges, preach this truth, let the word go out, because it's not going to go out void, man. All right, to whomever it goes to, it's going to come back, man. All right, if you say it in this place and they don't want to hear the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, this place is going to be destroyed, man. All right, we're standing up for a witness. All right, we're those martyrs of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All right, so that means we might even have to die for this truth, man. You see? So we're out here warning the people, and they don't want to listen. All right. Now, granted, here in Midland, Texas, all right, Odessa, Texas, is nothing but a bunch of white people, man. All right. Now there's some Israelites here. There's some Jakes, you know, because Jake is everywhere. But mainly, there's a bunch of white people, man. So every time I come out here and I'm talking about this and that, you know, they make faces. They look at you funny. They'll stare at the board and they'll read it for a minute, and then they'll notice that they're not on there. All right, and then they'll ask questions. What is that board? All right. So, you know, we're just prophesying and letting our people know who they really are, man. Whether that be here in Midland, Texas, or that's on YouTube online. All right. But without further ado, I'm gonna get into Revelation 13, and I'm gonna start going into the mark of the beast. All right, which it is the RFID chip. You see. So going to Revelations chapter 13. It says, Revelations chapter 13 and verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right, so to receive a mark. All right, and that word mark, let me get in the blue letter. Revelations 13, verse 16. All right, and it says that word mark is Strong's G 5480, karagma. All right, karagma, and it means a stamp. All right, a stamp, to stamp something. All right, now, you know, we're used to seeing stamps as something flat, all right, that you put on a piece of paper. But stamps don't necessarily have to be flat. All right, they could be carved out, they could be round, all right, they could be something to use to pierce. All right, it says, of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the anti-Messiah. All right, to be an antichrist, all right, which we don't like using that word, because that word Christ, Christos, in the Greek really means Messiah. All right, so to be anti-Mashiach, anti-Messiah, all right, that means to be against the word, to be against the Most High, to be against His word, to be against Yahushua. All right, so when you're anti-Messiah, you're anti the scriptures. All right, you're anti what the prophets are doing to the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. All right, so somebody like Vocab Malone that doesn't understand a damn thing, all right, he would be considered anti-Messiah. All right, because he's constantly going up against the men of the Lord, which are a great millstone. All right, and he's constantly going up against them and saying all kinds of wickedness, all right, to come up against them. You see? But in reality, he's an anti-Messiah. You see? Because we're preaching the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You know, and like Job said, if I be wicked, why labor I in vain? All right, why do we go out to the highways and the hedges, preaching the truth, preaching to our people, to the real Israelites, all right, to the true Israelites of the Most High, the children of the Most High, preaching this word, all right, whithersoever we go, saying, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. All right, so if we're wicked, why do we do that, man? Why do we want wickedness to cease if we're wicked? All right, that doesn't make any sense, you see? But we understand that there's people that are going to be set up to come up against, you know, the prophets, you know? And Lord willing, we're part of that number. But it says, a stamp, an imprinted mark. Now I'm going to go to dictionary and look up stamp. It says to strike or beat with a forcible downward thrust of the foot, to bring the foot down forcibly or smartly on the ground, to extinguish, crush, etc., by striking with a forcible downward thrust of the foot. All right, to press or quell a rebellion, uprising quickly through the use of overwhelming force. All right, to crush or pound with, or as with a pestle. All right, so something that you press down with great force. All right. Now, when you pierce your skin, when you pierce the skin, you have to have a lot of force to pierce the skin. All right. You know, whenever you cut your skin, it's something simple. All right, something simple to slash the skin open. But to pierce the skin, all right, to pierce it, it has to be with great force, man. All right, it's not something just simply that goes through. All right, you have to use great force with it. You see? It says a postage stamp, an act or instance of stamping, a die or block for impressing or imprinting. All right, which that's what the mark of the beast is, man. You die if you take the mark of the beast. All right, which is an imprintment. You see? And that imprintment really means, you know, when you press down on something. All right? All right, when you imprint on a woman, that means you want that woman. All right? So you press down hard on her so you can get her. You see? An imprintment, all right, means to press down. A stamp means to press down. All right, so the mark of the beast is going to be a mark, which means karagma, which means an imprinted mark. All right, which means something that's going to be pressed down as a stamp with great pressure. All right. So if you're gonna have something pressed down with great pressure, it's gonna be on your hand or on your forehead. All right. So that doesn't mean it's philosophies. You see, like a lot of camps like to say it's philosophies. A lot of camps like to say it's actually It's a lot of Christianity. All right, which is an image. Christianity is part of the image of the beast. Because you're worshiping doest thou willest. All right, doest thou willest, which is what you see a lot in Christianity. Well, God just wants you to be happy. All right, and that's why you could be a homosexual, and that's why you could be whatever the hell you want to be, man. But that's a bunch of wickedness, and the Most High even says that an unjust balance is nothing but wickedness to him. All right, and that is wickedness, man. To be a homosexual, to be whatever you want to be, as long as you're happy. All right. And people say follow your heart. All right, follow whatever it seems right to you. And that's a bunch of stupidity also, man. All right, that's why this place is going down. Because this place, that spirit revolves around this place, man. That spirit is everywhere. All right, people just want to worship whatever they want to worship. All right, I believe in God, but I don't think that he's the way that the Bible describes. I believe that he's actually this way. All right, for many reasons. All right, and they'll bring up a bunch of stupidity that comes out of their fucking mind. All right, and then they start worshiping that God. Well, if they're not worshiping, like the scriptures say, beware of those that bring a different Yahweh Shai. All right, butchering what the scriptures say. But if you're worshiping a different Yahweh Shai, all right, which is not really Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh Shai was all for Yahweh, the Most High. He was all for his people Israel. All right, so the mark of the beast is going to be a worldwide thing. All right, which is the RFID chip. That RFID chip, you can find that everywhere. All right, you can find that in your car. That's how your car has so much advanced technology now. All right, you can find that RFID chip in your cell phone. All right, the RFID chip technology is in your cell phone. The RFID chip technology is also at your workspace, all right, your work job. RFID chip technology is also in your wallet, on your debit cards. All right, so that chip is everywhere, man. All right, so he's gonna cause all, both small and great, rich and poor. All right, so why are the poor gonna receive it? All right, if it's just a way of thinking. All right, so the RFID chip is the mark of the beast, man. Because how else are you gonna buy? How can you buy with you can't go up to a grocery store and say, I believe in Christianity, and then buy something. I believe in this philosophy, and then buy something. It's never worked like that. It's never gonna be like that. It's always been a hard physical thing that you have to present in order to exchange, that physical thing you have, that currency, for whatever you want. All right, it's always been that way, man. It's never been, I'm a Christian, all right, well, you can buy this food. All right, it's not philosophy. You see, it's not philosophy. It's not the way of thinking. All right, that's not what it is, man. It's a hard idol. All right, an RFID chip that is going to be implemented, and that RFID chip is an imprint, all right, a stamp of servitude. You see, and servitude to who? Well, who's the one that's going to bring it out? Who is the devil? All right, he's not a man with a pitchfork, little red guy running around. All right, he's the self-proclaimed white man. All right, these fucking people like to think that it's this angel that fell. I was speaking to this Christian. He's a Christian dude, and I didn't know we had Friday off, and until somebody had told me, well, we have Friday off. And I was like, really? Well, why do we have Friday off? And They were like, well, it's Good Friday. I was like, Good Friday? What do you mean? What is that? You know, and that dude, he started explaining to me, well, Good Friday is the day where the Lord was crucified, and then Sunday would be Easter when he rose back up, all right, when he came back up, and he was alive again after the 3 days, all right? On the third day, that's when he rose up, so that's when Easter is, and this and that, and I was like, what? You know, this is the dumbest shit, you know, being in this truth, listening to somebody, and I'm like, okay, well, from my understanding, you know, from reading the scriptures, it tells you from one new moon to another, from one Sabbath to another, all right? That's how you can determine the Sabbath days. The new moon would be a new Sabbath, all right? So, looking at my moon calendar, all right, so April 5th was the new moon, all right? So from Thursday night to Friday night, all right, or sunset, that's the Sabbath, the new moon Sabbath, all right? 7 days later would be Friday the 12th, which is another Sabbath. 7 days later, which is Friday the 19th, would be another Sabbath. 7 days later, which is the 26th, would be another Sabbath. Now 7 days later would be the last Sabbath of that month, all right, which is the 3rd of May, all right? May 3rd would be the last Sabbath, all right, of that month. Now the new moon Sabbath is from Friday sunset to Saturday sunset, all right? So that would be the new Sabbath. So then the week after that would be a Saturday. The week after that would be a Saturday. The week after that a Saturday. And then the week after that a Saturday. All right? And that's how you can determine when the Sabbath is. All right? But, you know, the beginning of the year is when life starts to start back up. All right? Better is the beginning of a thing than the end of a thing. All right, and the beginning of the year is the 14 days, which is 2 Sabbaths after the new moon Sabbath of the beginning of the year. That's when the Passover is. All right, 14 days after. That's the Passover, and that's kept for 7 days. All right, and at the end of that 7th day, that's a Sabbath. You see? So that's the way that the Most High has things set up, man. And in the land of our captivity, are we rehearsing the righteous acts? All right, in the land of drawing water, all right, we're rehearsing the righteous acts. You know, and that's in Judges, Salakia. Judges 6 or 5. Let me get that. You know, because we're coming back to our power, man, and everything that has to do with the truth has to do with your survival in this world, all right? Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments isn't just some simple thing that, okay, well, I love my neighbor, and he has no food, and my family has no food, so I would be a bad neighbor if I didn't take the RFID chip to feed them. Well, that's a bunch of stupidity, all right? It's a bunch of wickedness. You're not supposed to take the RFID chip, all right? Even if your children and your wife is dying of thirst, even if you're dying of thirst and hunger, all right, you're not supposed to take it. We're supposed to trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and that's why it's so important to come back to our power, all right? Because without him, we can't do anything, man. You know, that's why it's so important to study and read to know these things that are coming, man. That's why, you know, like those movies where you have a dream, all right, and then they go live their life in their dream, and then they die in their dream a certain way, all right? So when they wake up, everything they're doing is exactly what they saw in their dream. So they know what's coming, death. So what do? Do they just walk straight into it and say, fuck it, I'm just gonna die? No, they do whatever they can to prevent themselves from dying. All right. Same thing with this truth. All right. The brothers, starting from our elders, Elder Tahar on down. All right. To our elders in our camps. All right. To our elders in our cities. You know, we know what the outcome is: death, famine, and destruction. All right. That's what's coming. So what's our job as somebody that's seen that dream, all right, which is going to come into reality? What's our job? Our job is to go out to the highways and the hedges and preach this truth and let our people know what's coming. All right? So going to the book of Judges, you know, like I was saying, because it, you know, being in this truth isn't just about knowing a lot of stuff, man. It's not just about knowing all these precepts and going back and forth and, man, this guy is so much, he has so much wisdom in the precepts, man. He's the precept king. All right? That's not what it's all about, man. All right? The truth of the scripture is something as simple as seeing the stop sign. All right? Seeing a walking sign. You know, like you have out here, you have your signals, which is you have a stop sign which is the hand, and then you have that little guy that's walking, which is you can walk. All right? That is the truth. Is something as simple as that, man. Something as simple as that a lot of people can't understand. All right? The Most High is letting you know, stop right here. Don't pass this way, but you can walk this way. All right? There's something simple, man. You know, following the law, statutes, and commandments isn't just because that's what the Most High said. Oh, well, the Most High said to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, so I'm going to try and follow the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of my ability. All right? That's not just what it is, man. You know? Man, you know, I can understand why it could be a little complicated for some people. And that's really because the Most High just shut their eyes, man. Completely closed them off from this truth, you know? Because this truth pertains of quite a bit of things, man. You know, you have to become a man to be in this truth, which a lot of people can't do. All right? So, let me get that in the book of Judges. This is the book of Judges, chapter 5 and verse 11. They that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the place of drawing water. All right, so from the noise of the archers. All right, so what's one thing that we know is coming as we're in this truth? All right, death, destruction, all right, darkness. We know it's all coming. All right, but what else is coming? Salvation. All right, salvation is coming. Now, when you read Ezra 13, it tells you about the nuclear destruction. When you read Revelations, it tells you about the nuclear destruction. Joel chapter 2 tells you about nuclear destruction. All right? Those bows, all right, those bows represent, all right, you know, the ICBM missiles. Those archers represent those people that are going to shoot those ICBM missiles. All right? And the iron weapon represents the ICBM missile. All right? You know, like it says in the scriptures, before them, all right, was the Garden of Eden, and after them is or how to say it, after them is a desolate wilderness. All right, so before the ICBM missile hits, you see life. All right, you see people driving around doing their thing, and after the ICBM missile hits, this place is done. It's desolate. All right. So it says, they that are delivered, all right, which is the elect, from the noise of the archers, all right, which is the ICBM missiles, in the place of drawing water, which is America, also known as Babylon the Great, also known as spiritual Egypt and spiritual Sodom. It says, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of Yahweh, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. All right, so like the scriptures say, you know, if you love your brother, you're not gonna do any harm to him. All right, but you have to be careful of who you call your brother. All right, Yahweh Shai made a parable in the book of Luke. All right, and showing that man, love your brother, and all these other commandments will follow through. And that man, you know, trying to get Yahweh Shai in trying to catch him slipping, he asked him, well, who do I call my brother? All right, so he set up a parable, and that parable was, you know, a man that was basically jumped and beat up for whatever goods he had. All right, was left almost to die out in the street. All right, and these people, you know, a Pharisee passed by, he didn't do a damn thing about it. All right, Jake passed by, didn't do a damn thing about it. A Levite passed by, he didn't do anything about it. But this man, all right, this man came up to him, he took him in, all right, he paid for his stay until he got better, and whatever that man needed, he said, put that on my tab. And he said, now which one out of all of these is your brother? And he said, well, the one that took care of me. And he said, exactly, that's your brother. All right, same thing with Yahweh Shai when he was speaking to the multitude of people, all right, and Mary, his mother, and his brother, all right, his brother, they went up to speak with Yahweh Shai, and, you know, as they were there, the multitude spoke to the Lord, and they said, hey, your mother and your brother are here to see you. You know, you can imagine your own family member just standing there waiting for you with a great multitude of people, and then you basically saying, who is my mother and brother? He said, look here, you know, to his actual brothers in the truth. And he said, these are my mother and brother and sister and fathers. All right, those are my family. That's basically what he was saying. This is my family. All right, these are the ones that you need to care about more. All right, these are the ones that are following after that righteousness. You see? So there may come a time where you have to choose, man. Who do you want more? Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and the body, or the lust of the world? All right. So it says, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of Yahweh. So here in Babylon the Great is where we're rehearsing the righteous acts, really this whole world, man. All right? Throughout the four corners of the earth, you know, everybody bows down to the beast. You know, everybody starts worshiping the white man throughout the four corners of the earth, man. All right? So throughout the four corners of the earth, we're going to be rehearsing the righteous acts. All right? Which is the laws, statutes, the commandments. All right? And it says, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. All right, so be brotherly to your brother Israel. All right, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Those are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. All right. It says, then shall the people of Yahweh go down to the gates. All right. Now, what are those gates? All right, the gates to the kingdom. All right, the gates. You know, like you read in Revelations 21 and 12. There's gates. There's not one gate to go into the kingdom of heaven. All right, there's 12 gates. You see, there's 12 gates to go into the kingdom of heaven, which represents each of the tribe of the children of Israel. All right, so if you're a Hamite, you're not gonna walk through the gate of Judah. You can't walk through the gate of Issachar. All right, Manasseh, Gad, Levi, Benjamin. You can't walk through any of those gates if you're another nation. That's why the kingdom of heaven belongs to Israel. All right, and that's why we go out to the highways and the hedges to preach and proclaim and let the people know. All right, so that's why we're doing what we do, man. All right, it's prophecy. It's been prophesied that we would have this board. All right, when the two stakes are joined unto one, which is the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. All right, and that word stick means a board, wood. All right, And that's mainly what you see when we go out to the highways and the hedges. We have this board, man, of the 12 tribes of Israel. People saying that it's off. All right, hey, you believe whatever the hell you want to believe, man. Be like the rest of the fucking world, all right? Be in that do as thou willest spirit and see what happens to you, man. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to come back and smite your ass, all right? Lest you repent, man, all right? For the fear of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua coming back and smiting you, all right, chastening you, go ahead and repent, man. Just go back to your first love, all right? Reading the scriptures, you know? Following after Yahweh Hashem Yahushua in sincerity, in truth. You see? Because if not, then what is those two sticks being joined together? All right? They don't have an answer for that. Oh, but they have answers because why it's not right. All right? But then if that's the case, then who's Judah? Who's Benjamin? Who's Levi? Who's Issachar? All right? Especially the Latin tribes. All right? You saying it's all Negroes only. All right? But all right, what tribe are you from? Oh, I don't know, but Negroes only. All right, you don't make any sense, man. All right, this was given to us through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And if you break down the tribes of Issachar, man, it follows to the T what a Mexican is. All right, a so-called Mexican, which you go back to the word Mexican, which is Mexica. All right, and Mexica actually means Mashiach, Messiah. You see, Messias, Mexica. All right, it means Messiah, which that word Messiah means anointed. And the Aztecs, all right, were firm in believing that they were chosen, that they were anointed. You see? And that word Aztec was given to them by the Spaniards, all right, the Edomites. Now the Edomites called them Azteca. When you go into the Hebrew word Az, meaning time, Teka, meaning people of, the people of time. And that's very well known through Issachar. Issachar is known for knowing the times, all right? So he can tell Israel what to do. You see? So, hey, these breakdowns are beautiful, man, and our people don't understand it, and, you know, that's on them. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua closed their eyes for a reason, all right? So continuing back in Revelation chapter 13, it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or on their foreheads. Now, reading the very beginning, and he causeth all. Now, who is he? Who the hell is he? Who is this man? All right? Because if he's a he, he's a man. All right? If it would have said she, then it would have been a woman. If it would have said spirit, then it would have been a spirit, but it said he. So a man is going to be set up to cause everybody, all the inhabitants of the earth to take the RFID chip. All right? To take the RFID chip. So who is this man that's set up? Well, you can read that in 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 9. All right? Because Esau is the end of the world, and Revelations is a prophecy of the end of times. All right? So Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Now that's a prophecy. That's a prophecy, and you can't prophesy without the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So how could you say that the Apocrypha is not canon, all right, that is not part of the scriptures, if it's prophesying to you something that has not yet come? All right? Same thing with the time of trouble. Jacob's trouble, that's also coming. All right? These are all prophecies of the end times that our people just can't seem to understand, man. All right? Even if you can have 10 different scriptures that prove that the truth of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is in Great Millstone. You can have 10 scriptures to prove that, and our people are still going to hate it. Our people are still going to say no, but they don't have any scriptures to back that up. You know? So, hey, man, you have to hate this place, man. You can't possibly be in the truth and love everything about Babylon the Great. You can't, man. Now you have some things that you might want to do, like a hobby or something, to distract yourself. All right, reading, studying, and that'll just, put you away from this world, but you can't possibly love this world, man. You can't. If you're in the truth and you believe in Yahweh the Most High and you believe in Yahweh Shai, our Savior, you can't love this world, man. Because loving this world is at enmity, all right, is at adverse with the Most High. You see? So either you're going to love this world or you're going to love the Most High, man. So that mark, meaning charagma, all right, is an imprint. You see? An imprintation of something. So an incision. An incision will be considered an imprint. All right? A stamp. More specifically, it's going to be a stamp of servitude. You see? So from there, let me go to let me go to Revelations 14. I believe it was. Let me see. Gone. Revelations 14 and 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahweh Shai. And I heard a voice from the heavens saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead which die in Yahweh from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow. So, hey, for the people that say you don't have to work, you don't have to do works in order to prove your faith to the Most High. Hey, the scripture just said it plain, like some people like to eat their burgers with lettuce, tomato, having juice, having been well made. I know I do. But some people like to eat their burgers plain and dry. Just a burger, buns, and that's it. No cheese. And I know people like that. And hey, that's how this truth is, man. Because not a lot of people favor plain and dry. All right? There's only a specific few that are going to love that plain and dry. All right? And those are the true followers, the 144,000 elect men of Israel that are going to love that plain and dry. All right? And the scriptures, Salaki, the scriptures can be plain and dry. All right? Plain, straight to the point blank, period, like Elder Tahar says. All right? And the scripture just said it. If you keep the faith, all right, if you have the love for Yahweh, and you keep the faith of Yahweh Shai, and you keep the commandments, all right? And let me go back to what it says. It says, and blessed you're going to be, because from then on, all right, you're going to rest from your labors, all right, and the works do follow them. So yes, you do have to show that you have faith in the Most High. You can't just say like every other Christian, oh, I have faith in the Most High. You have to know the names of the Most High. What is the name of the Father and the Son, if thou canst tell? Like it says in Proverbs, all right? So you have to know the names, all right? Knowing what tribe you come from is part of the breakdown. It's part of being in the truth, all right? Knowing what you have to do, who you have to follow, being circumspect, all right? Circle, spect, vision, all right? Eyes, your specs. When people say I lost my specs, they're talking about their glasses, all right? So circumspect is to be looking out, all right? 360, that's a circle. So be watchful, always, man. Always and always, see? So, this man that is set up by the Most High is actually our brother, all right? And that brother is Esau Edom, which is the brother to Jacob, all right? Which Jacob, he didn't have any problems with Esau, but Esau always had a problem against Jacob, all right? And Esau is a self-proclaimed white man. You can look it up in the scriptures, all right? And Jacob are the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, And Yahweh Shai said, you are the salt of the earth, Jacob is the salt of the earth, man. You don't see that type of spirit with anybody else. All right, you know what? Elder Tahar just made a video the other day. All right, and in that video, he was showing how you are the seed of your father and not your mother. All right, your mother is just a vessel. You know. So in that video that Elder Tahar was doing, you know, it was in the book of, man, I believe it was in Deuteronomy, you know, but the Israelitish woman, all right, the Israelite woman, she had a child, all right, and the father was an Egyptian, all right, so a Hamite, you see? So the Egyptian, which is the Hamite, had a child with an Israelite. Well, that child didn't have the same spirit as everybody else, all right? Now you can see some videos where a Hamite, they'll try and dance like Jake and they can't dance like Jake. They'll try and rap like Jake, but they can't rap like Jake. They'll try and talk like Jake, but they can't talk like Jake because it's not in their spirit. They don't have that spirit. That's why in the book of Exodus, Yahweh says, behold, I will put a difference. All right, you will know the difference between an Egyptian and an Israelite. All right, so it says, let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Exodus chapter 11, verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that Yahweh doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. So a bunch of you dumbasses out there worshiping Egyptology, saying, oh, there's where we come from. Yeah, because you were in slavery in that place, so why would you want to go back to Egypt? All right? You were in captivity. That's why you're up on the walls as slaves. And you still don't listen, because you still want to go back to that. All right? But no, you don't want to move there. You just want to talk about it. All right? Because if you go over there, you don't understand the language. All right? If you go to Africa, you go to Nigeria, you go to all these other places that you say, oh, that's where we belong, that's where we're from. But you're not understanding that you're not an African, all right? You're not a fucking African, man, you know? And you know, I met this Levite about 3 years ago. I want to say 4. Could have been 4, maybe even 5, man. I don't even know how long I've been here in this wicked-ass place, you know, but I met this Levite, and I was speaking to him, you know, and he was like, hey, bro, where you from, man? You know? And I told him, I was like, well, I'm from California, and, you know, my lineage is Mexican. And he was like, damn, man. He's like, I could have sworn you were black, you know? He was like, I thought you were black, man. He was like, and more specifically, you look Egyptian. All right? Because my people were over there, man. Our people were over there. Israel was in Egypt. That really did happen. We were in slavery. We were in captivity. All right? But we increased. Just like now, you see Jake, the so-called Mexicans, hey, they increase like a bunny. All right? You see the so-called Negroes, they increase rapidly too. All right? The natives. That's just the spirit of Jake, man. All right? And our people just don't understand it. Something simple like the 12 tribes chart, something simple like that, people just bug out. All right? So that, like the brother said, man, the brother Ye Batazar, he said, we're not out here to find more people. We're out here to find brothers, man. That's what we're out here to do. All right? Brothers in the scriptures, brothers in this truth, man. Brothers in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All right. And talking about brotherhood, I had a dream yesterday, last 2 nights ago. So really yesterday morning, I had a dream. All right, and I was with the brother Yabataza. All right, and it was me and a couple of my friends, you know, from the world back in California, and the brother and what I'm guessing to be his friends. All right, because I saw a bunch of people I didn't know, but they knew the brother. All right, so I was with them, and we were all hanging out. You know, it was probably like about, I want to say like 8 or 10 of us. All right, we were sitting down by some benches, and we were all talking and having a good time or whatever. And I started saying bye to everyone. All right, now to every person, I went up to him and I said, hey, I'll see you later, man. See you, man. All right, have a good one, man. I'll see you. I'll see you. I'll see you. And to the brother Yabataza, I went up to him and we did the salute. All right. Yahabashim Yabashai Barakatah. All right. Now, whenever we had hugged, you know, that brotherly kiss. All right, I turned around and I saw all those guys that were with us. They were kind of looking at us strange, like, yo, what the fuck is going on with these guys? All right. So going back to, you know, showing your love to your brothers. You see? But the rest of our brothers, all right, Israelites, they don't want to understand this truth, man. They don't want to hear it. All right. I've had a couple encounters. They just don't want to hear it, you know? And going into what I was speaking to that man, that young man at work, you know, he was like, yeah, man, there's a lot of things that I didn't know before that now I know. And I'm more sure of it, you know, by reading. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, and I was kind of testing his knowledge. And I was like, so what do you think this is? So what do you think that is? And, well, Lucifer, the name Lucifer, what do you think Lucifer really means? You know, and he was like, well, I believe that Lucifer was an angel, you know, that took 1/3 of the angels down from heaven and rebelled against the Most High. And, you know, saying that was his name and he was a beautiful, knowledgeable angel and this and that. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah, you could read that in the scriptures. And I was like, well, where can I find that? I was like, because the only time Lucifer ever comes up is in Isaiah 14. All right, and that's not even talking about an angel that fell against the Most High. All right, that's talking about the king of Babylon. I was like, so what does Lucifer really mean? Well, Lucifer actually has a lot of names like Satan and this and that. That's not what it is, man. All right, Christianity has been nothing but a bunch of wickedness and stupidity. All right, it has never brought out the scriptures to the full capacity that it has. All right, Christianity never said anything, you know, they don't go into the scriptures and read, all right, well, in Revelations, you know, chapter so-and-so, it tells you that the angel that fell down's name is actually Lucifer. It doesn't tell you any of that, all right, because there is no angel that rebels against the Most High. Why do you think the demons have to ask permission from the Most High? If they rebelled against the Most High, did they have to ask permission first? Hey, can I go ahead and just go against you and do things against you? Come on, man. The scriptures do not contradict, man. All right, and I also had this other Jake, you know, Judah, and he's the one that would come up to me and ask me various questions. All right, and he was just testing me for a long time, man. You know, and he went up to me and he was like, all right, well, what are your thoughts about the scriptures? Because I read the scriptures and I know they contradict themselves. And I read the Torah and the Tanakh and I read the Talmud and I read, I forgot what other fucking books he mentioned. All right. And, you know, besides the actual scriptures, but he mentioned, oh, he was saying, what are your thoughts on the book of Enoch and on the book of Mary and on the book of, man, what's that? Judas. The book of Judas. All right, Judas Iscariot supposedly made a book, all right, before his death. And Mary Magdalene supposedly made a book, all right, about what she went through. And he was like, what are your thoughts about those books? And I was like, they're not canon, they're not true. All right, they're not true, man. And he was like, no, I believe they're true. I believe they're true. And I was like, no, they're not. They have to follow the scriptures, because the scriptures do not contradict. And he was like, yeah, they do. They do contradict. All right, so what the hell is your problem, man? So do you believe in the scriptures or not? Because if they contradict, then that means you don't believe in the scriptures. All right? But he wanted to make a point to implement those books in there. And I was like, the book of Enoch is not true either, man. He was like, well, how do you know? How do you know the book of Enoch is not true? All right, which when you read the account about Enoch, when you read the account about Noah, Enoch was gone way before Noah was born. All right, just doing simple math, you know, which was about, I believe it was 69 years of difference when Enoch was gone to when Noah was born. 69 years difference. So Enoch was gone for 69 years. The Most High had taken Enoch 69 years before Noah. But in the book of Enoch, which is not true, it's not a true book, all right, that book is lost. We don't know where that knowledge, that wisdom and understanding that Enoch had went, but it's not in that book, man. All right, it's not in that book, you know? So in that book, Enoch was still alive. Enoch was supposedly in the Garden of Eden, and Manasseh took Noah to meet Enoch. All right, and what's it called? Enoch looked at Noah, and they were scared. Noah's parents were scared because Noah looked like an angel, and they said that he was white as snow. And that's not how it is. The angels are not white as snow. All right? It said that Noah had a godly complexion. All right? So he looked like one of the angels. So the parents were scared because they thought that Noah was a son of an angel. Well, that contradicts the scriptures everywhere. All right? One, the angels are not these so-called white men, like they like to put them out as. All right? These angels look like a so-called Negro. You see? And another thing, you know, besides Enoch being already translated by the time that Noah was born, another thing was that angels are not given into marriage. And what is marriage? All right, we read it in Genesis 24, the last verse, where Isaac took Rebekah into his mother's tent, and Rebekah became his wife. That means he slept with her. That's how you give into marriage. All right? Even nowadays, you consummate a marriage. All right? How do you consummate a marriage? By having sex, by sleeping with that person. That's how you consummate a marriage. All right? I made this analogy early on the week or a few days ago. I believe it was Thursday. But it's like opening a door, man. All right? You can drive up to that door, turn the doorknob and open it. All right? Put the key in, unlock it and open it. You could walk up to the door, unlock it and open it. You could float up to that door, unlock it and open it. The end result is the same. Consummating a marriage it should just be marriage. That is marriage. All right? The Most High doesn't need you to go up to an altar and present yourself and put a ring on her finger, and then her put a ring on your finger, and then in front of a witness of a bunch of people. The Most High knows you. All right? He knows who you sleep with. He knows what you're doing. All right? That's what marriage means. So an angel is not given into marriage, man. All right? An angel is not given into marriage. That's why in the prayer, in the Lord's Prayer, it said, your will be done on earth, in earth, as it is in heaven. All right? So your will be done in earth. That means it will. That doesn't mean it is. All right? Through the Spirit, it is. But physically, it still hasn't been done yet. All right? It will be done in earth like it already is in heaven. All right? So in the heavens, it's order. There's an order in the heavens. All right? Something that we don't have here on earth yet. All right? So in the kingdom of heaven, it's going to be given to the rightful owners of the earth. The inheritance of the earth. The judges. All right? Which the self-proclaimed white man has covered from the face of the earth. You see? Because that man is the devil. And he's the one that's going to implement the mark of the beast. So we could go to Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He scourgeth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, wherein who is he? All right, so who are the judges? The Israelites. All right, that's why there's a book of Judges. Coincidentally. No, there is no coincidences, man. All right, the Most High set everything up for a reason. Something simple. All right, something simple that a bunch of you simps don't understand. You see? But if you have the ears to hear, hey, the Most High is going to bring you to whatever camp it is. And he's going to have you listen to those words, man. All right? So that man, the self-proclaimed white man, is going to enforce the RFID chip. Which, guess what? He's already doing it. All right? He's already enforcing the RFID chip. So like we read in Revelations 14, those that keep the commandments of the Most High, all right, that follow after the Most High and the faith of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach are the ones that are going to be saved. Like we read in Judges 5, you know, from the land of drawing waters, that we're going to be saved from this place when we rehearse our righteous acts, man. All right? So now let's see what the righteous acts say in the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, and verse 28. All right, it says, Salakia, 19 and verse 28, ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead. Now, if you're dead, all right, when somebody threatens someone and, you know, they did something that they didn't like, so they tell them, you're a dead man. Now, what does that mean? What does it mean to be a dead man? That means your end is coming, all right? It doesn't mean he's already dead, all right? But he's telling them, you're a dead man. That means I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna kill you, all right? That's what that means. So don't make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead. One, for the literal dead, and two, for the walking dead. All right, which is Esau Edom, because he's done. He's done through the Spirit. The Most High already has it set up for him to be done. All right. So going to Leviticus 19 and 28, it says, ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahweh. All right, the Most High is saying this. The Most High. So you can't say, oh, well, I'm going to take the mark of the beast. I'm going to take the RFID chip because that's not the mark of the beast. All right, well, if you're taking that, then you're denouncing Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and turning away from him because he's telling you not to do that. All right? So it says in Leviticus 19, ye shall not make any cuttings, which is sharat. All right, sharat. Strong's 8296, and it means an incision, a cut. All right, so don't make any incisions in your body for the dead. All right, now we mentioned how taking that charagma, an imprint of servitude, all right? So when you take that incision, he's gonna put that chip in you so you can serve him, all right? Serve him as a God and not the Most High as the almighty power. You see? So it says an incision or a cutting. Let's look up that word incision in the dictionary. It says a cut, a gash, a notch, the act of incising, a cutting into, especially for surgical purposes, incisiveness, keenness. All right, so the mark of the beast is going to be an incision. That's what it means for cutting. All right, so a cutting into what? Into the flesh. All right, especially of surgical purposes. Now, when you take the RFID chip, you have to get that surgical procedure in order to get that inside of your hand. All right. So going back to Leviticus 19, verse 28, it says, all right, cuttings, which is sharat, which means an incision in your flesh. All right, so don't cut into your flesh for the dead. Now, who's the dead? Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. All right, thus saith the scriptures. That's what the scriptures say. That's not what I'm saying. All right, I didn't make this up. I didn't just pull this out of the air. This is what the Most High has been saying, and that's what I'm with. All right. It says, for the dead, which is napash, which means the soul. All right, a dead soul, a living being. All right, so somebody that you worship. Now, what does the beast do? The beast is gonna have you worship him, and that's the self-proclaimed white man. That's why he self-proclaimed himself to be the white man, because white means pure, white means light, white means good, and that's what he wants you to think. He wants you to think that he's good. He wants you to think that he's a god. All right, and our people do. Our people look at him like, no, he can't do any wrong. All right, Thomas over there is a good guy, but really he's the wicked man that the scriptures talk about. He is that wicked man. All right, that red serpent, that red devil. All right, because that's what Esau, well, Esau means wasted away is he. All right, he was wasted away, man. You know, like when you have a black shirt, say I leave this black shirt out here for a long time. That black shirt is gonna turn purplish. That black shirt is gonna turn a different color because it's wasted away. All right, same thing with Jacob. Jacob was born as a Negro, a so-called Negro, different shades of brown. All right, Esau was born ruddy. All right, translucent. His skin showed white or red from the blood. He had no pigmentation. All right, his hair was discolored. You see, which is the same curse that Cain had. From the beginning, he was a vagabond. All right, from the beginning. It's talking about Cain. All right, so through the reincarnation, which the Bible does speak about reincarnation, Cain came back as Esau. So when he came out, they called him Esau because he was wasted away. All right, now later his name became Edom, which means red. Adawam. All right, Adawam. So in that scripture, you know, they like to make it seem like Esau was Adam, but he wasn't. Adam wasn't pale. All right, he was a so-called Negro. You see? Same thing with Eve. All right, but mainly focusing on the men, because you are the seed of your father. All right. So it says, activity of mind, seed of emotions and passions, seed of appetites, and that's what Esau is. Salakia. Esau is the seat of emotions. All right, that kingdom that he has, that chair that he sits in, that's a seat of emotions. All right? It says seat of appetites. And what does it say? He has enlarged his appetite. Man, I can't remember where that's at. But that's Esau Edom, man. His appetite is huge. He wants more and more. Like it says in Job chapter 20. You know, when Esau Edom is going to be eating, and he's going to be eating, and he's going to be eating, and he thinks he's going to satisfy himself with that dessert, that RFID chip. But as soon as he's going to enjoy his dessert, the Most High is going to make him vomit it all out. All right? And like I mentioned last time, vomit ain't pretty. Vomit ain't something that you want to do. All right? Vomit is something that hurts your throat. It makes you cry. All right? That means whether Esau Edom likes it or not, the Most High is going to spew everything he has inside of him out. All right? So that's what that means, man. All right? The dead. It's not necessarily talking about an actual dead man. All right? It's talking about a living man also. All right? And Esau Edom is alive, but he's the walking dead man. All right? He's set up for death. He's set up for destruction. He's set up for slavery. All right? That's pursuing after Revelations 13 and 10. All right? So going back to Leviticus, to that word print, which is Nathan, which means give, I believe. Right. Nathan means to give, to put, to set, all right, to grant. It says, for the dead, nor print, all right, nor give any marks upon you. All right, so don't let them give you those marks, man. That word marks, which means kwai in the Hebrew, which is Strong's H7085, and it means incision, imprintment, tattoo, or a mark. Now, imprintment means the same thing as a stamp. All right, you imprint something, you stamp something. All right, so the imprintment of the mark of the beast is a stamp. You see, that you're going to take unto servitude, you know, which is also an ancient custom to pierce yourself for servitude to someone else. All right, so let me get that in the book of Exodus, and then I'm going to go over everything again. Book of Exodus. Chapter 21 and verse 5. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master. Let's lock it. Let me get this other one lined up real quick. Luke. Luke 14 and 26. All right, let me read this in Exodus chapter 21 and verse 5. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife and my children, I will not go out free. So hey, what is salvation? Salvation is to go out free. So if you're constantly looking back at spiritual Egypt, all right, and you don't want to go out free, you want to go out with a fight, all right, you want to go out and try and remain in this wicked place, all right, because you loved your master, which is Esau Edom, you love your wife, whomever that may be, and you loved your children, all right? So you took that RFID chip because you love them more than you love the Most High, all right? Because if you keep the commandments, like it says in Revelations 14, those that are going to be saved are going to keep the commandments. All right. Now going to Leviticus 19 and 28, it tells you not to take a mark upon your skin. That means an incision, a cut, karagma. All right. So don't take the RFID chip. But because you needed food, but because you needed shelter, but because you needed to work, you took the RFID chip because you loved your master Esau. All right. So you served yourself, or you served him, and you love your wife and children. But this is what the Most High says in Luke 14 and 26. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. So you can't follow the Most High. You can't follow the Most High and take the RFID chip, because you're going up against the Most High, because he told you not to take the RFID chip. You see? So back in Exodus 21 and 5, it says, if the servant shall plainly say, all right, plain and dry, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. So you loved your life. You loved the life that you had here in Babylon the Great. So you wanted to take the RFID chip. You didn't want to do, what you see as hard, which is following the scriptures, the law, statutes, and commandments, following Yahweh Hashem Yahushai to the best of your ability. All right? Verse 6, and here's the point. Then his master, which is Esau Edom, shall bring him unto the judges, all right, which is his judges. He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the door post, and his master, Esau Edom, shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. All right, now that word bore, which is Strong's H7527, which is to bore or pierce. All right, to pierce. Let's look up that word bore. All right. Bore. It says, Salaki, I don't know what the hell is going on. And bore. It says to weary by dullness, tedious repetition, unwelcome attentions, a dull, tiresome, or uncongenial person. Hold on. It's in bore 2, all right, which is a verb. To pierce. A solid substance with some rotary cutting instrument. All right. So a rotating cutting instrument. That's what it means to bore. All right. So whenever you're getting that RFID chip, you're getting bored. All right. Which is a rotating cutting instrument, which I have a picture of to show the RFID chip instrument being a boring instrument. All right. Now this is the boring instrument. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. That right there is a boring instrument that they use, as you can see at the bottom right here. That is the roundness, all right, where you put the RFID chip inside that boring area. So when you're pierced, you just got to push down on it, all right, and it's going to come out. So the same thing with the mark of the beast being the 666, which is Chai Shai stigma, all right, stigma going back to stigmatus, which means to stake or pierce, all right, so it has to be a piercing, man, all right, the mark of the beast is a piercing, you see? So it says, bore his ear with an awl. That word awl is Strong's H4836, which means a boring instrument. All right, so to bore or pierce with a boring instrument. So that's what Esau Edom is gonna do. He's gonna pierce you with that thing which looks like a what is it called? A syringe. All right, which you, instead of fluid, you would put that RFID chip inside that syringe. So whenever you press down on it, all right, that syringe is gonna push through stamp. He's gonna stamp you for servitude, all right? And you're gonna have the RFID chip because you serve Esau Edom. All right, so let me read that again. Verse 6, then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door and unto the doorpost. And his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. Now you're gonna serve Esau Edom for a certain period of time. All right, so when you come into the into the kingdom, if you're an Israelite, you come into the kingdom, all right, you're not gonna be a king. You're not gonna be a power, a god, all right? You're not. You're gonna bear your shame. That shame you had because you didn't listen to the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, all right? So going back to Revelations 13. And verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now we established that that mark is actually an imprintment, an incision, all right, a piercing. You see? So through the definitions, it doesn't mean philosophy. All right, going through the Hebrew and going through the Greek, it doesn't say philosophy in anything. All right, it doesn't say any type of philosophy. Now that philosophy is going to take a role in the image of the beast, but the actual idol, all right, having a false idol worship is going to be that RFID chip. You see? So everybody's going to be tempted. It's not just a couple people. It says, verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right, so you can't buy or sell or do anything unless you have that mark. All right, and that mark is that RFID chip, because the RFID chip technology holds your debit card information. All right, your security, your social security. It holds everything inside that RFID chip. All right, who you are, how much beer do you buy? You know, it's gonna hold all type of information inside that chip, and eventually that chip will be you. You are that chip. All right, and without that chip, you can't buy your food. All right, without that chip, you can't pay for milk for your dogs, milk for your children, milk for your newborn. All right, you can't do anything without that chip, man. And that chip is gonna look like a miracle. All right, because it's gonna help you, you know, do certain things. You know, if anybody's seen that show, The 100, I believe it was in season 4. Yeah, The 100 season 4. You know, they have this AI, which is called Allie. Now, Allie was a woman in a red dress, which is what people see whenever they take a chip. All right, they have this chip, they swallow it, and that chip implants something in their brains and their minds. All right, and that chip talks to them and heals them and cuts certain things from the nervous system, so it feels like they're not hurting. All right, if you have grievous pain in your arm, you know that chip is going to cut off the pain from your arm, so your arm is going to be functioning like it doesn't hurt. All right, now if you have you know, certain things in your body that you can't use because of whatever disease you have, that chip is going to cut off that disease. All right, and it's going to do like a, you know, like a hardwire, you know, where you rewire things so it can work a different way, a different path. All right, so that chip is going to bring these things, and it's going to bring stuff to your remembrance, and you're like, wow, I feel like a computer. All right, I know what I ate yesterday, exactly at what time, at what hour, and I know exactly what I was looking at, and I can tell you by detail, you know, like a photographic memory, everything that was there, and I could draw it to the T, and my body works so perfectly, and it's so synchronized that I could draw whatever I want. All right, that RFID chip is going to be in that same sort of way. All right. But if you take the RFID chip, hey, it's prophecy that you're going to have a sore on your hand. All right. Wherever that RFID chip is, it's going to cause it to soar up. You know? So let me see. All right, this is from the maker, all right, of the RFID chip. It says RFID chip, RFID microchip, which means small chip. Inventor says people should not take the chip. Dr. Carl Sanders will leak into the bottom and cause a horrible sore at the implantation site. All right, so whatever that RFID chip is made out of, all right, it eventually it'll leak, all right, and it'll cause the body to have a sore. But check this out. This is in Revelations chapter 16 and verse 1. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them that worship the beast, that worship his image. All right, so that sore, if you worship something, you're gonna do it. All right, if you worship if you worship those gods that they have, Buddha and Allah and all these stupid ass gods that they have, these idols, if you worship them, then you're gonna follow through the customs to worship them. Same thing with Christianity. All right, people that worship in Christianity, they fall through the same stupidity that they what is that word when they require them to worship. Easter, Christmas, all these stupid ass, man-made religion traditions. All these traditions, these Christians worship it because that's what it's required of them. You see? So if you worship the beast, all right, and his image, then what is required of you is to take the RFID chip. So that means that you will definitely take the RFID chip if you worship the image and the beast. All right? So it says, that was it on that. All right, so that RFID chip is the mark of the beast, man. All right, so as a Hebrew Israelite, what we're supposed to do is not take the RFID chip. All right, even to you stupid ass saying only blacks only Israelites, all right, even to you I say this, all right, do not take the RFID chip, because that RFID chip, all right, like we read in Leviticus 19, like we read in Exodus, all right, like we read in Revelations, the scriptures tell you throughout, man, all right, it tells you not to take it, because if you take it, you're giving yourself unto the servitude of Esau Edom, being the self-proclaimed white man which owns this world, all right? So he's gonna try and have everybody under control, and by everybody mainly, it's talking about the prophets, all right? He's gonna try and have the prophets under control, so he's gonna try and bring out the RFID chip so that he can tell who's who, all right? If you're not with him, you're against him. That's what Yahushua said. How much more is Esau Edom gonna say? The wicked man. If you're not with his wickedness, then he's against you, man. You know? So rehearsing the righteous acts, man. That's one of the righteous acts. Don't take the RFID chip. You know? So with that, Akim, I want to say Shalom. Peace and blessings to the 12 tribes of Israel, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And as always, giving all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakaha Kwadash, giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth to rule well. All right? Till next time, Akim, Shalom. Stay strong out there, man.